Today we will discuss how to properly prune raspberries. We have raspberries and spring has already arrived. It's the beginning of March, the weather is warm, so we can start pruning the raspberries. Of course, this can also be done in the fall. But winters are warm, so we'll do it in the spring. How can you tell what variety of raspberry you have, everbearing or regular? This is of course a question that many people often ask. Let's take a look at that. If you have two raspberry bushes growing next to each other, one dismantled, one regular, then you can compare these two varieties and determine which one is the everbearing. Here I have two varieties. This is a regular cake, the beauty of Russia. Regular, regular, regular. The everbearing variety is unmatched. How do they differ? First of all, it's about the color. By color, everbearing varieties have a lighter shade, thicker stems, and they grow more vigorously than the regular ones. But the most obvious sign that you have everbearing raspberries is the absence of dry stems left over from last year. All the stems are alive, and next to the variety we have live ones, and on the variety next to it, on the usual we see dry stems. This indicates that the variety we have is a regular one. How do you prune everbearing raspberries? Everywhere it is recommended that to get a good harvest of everbearing raspberries, you need to cut them back to the ground every spring or autumn. And this year there will already be a harvest in August, September. We have a warm climate, so we can also wait for the second harvest. It will be fine, it will be warm, and it will continue to fall off the raspberries. So in this case I don't cut all the stems. I count 7 buds. 5, 6, 7, and I cut at this level. Of course, all the unwanted shoots that are in the wrong place are removed. All the thin stems that are thinner than a pencil are also cut back to the ground. And there won't be a good harvest. This year, these raspberries will produce a harvest from these 7 buds that remain. From last year, new shoots will also come up from the ground, which will bear fruit as early as August, September. From these same shoots, we'll get a harvest as early as July. Since everyone loves raspberries, this is a very practical and economical way to grow them. Raspberries won't weaken much if you fertilize them well. In the summer and spring, I use a solution in the spring when the leaves start to appear of chicken manure, which ferments in a barrel in a ratio of 1 to 20. It won't burn now. I pour a bucket of this 10-liter solution under each bush. This is a good fertilizer for raspberries. Now let's look at the question of how to prune regular raspberries in spring. Here we have a raspberry bush, Krasnaya Rossiya. What needs to be removed here? First of all, they are removed the dried shoots that bore fruit last year. This is done at the root. We cut the second shoot that has already cracked and is no good. Secondly, you need to trim the thin, weak shoots, the ones that are thinner than a pencil, and those are also removed at the root. Pebbles. Those that are thinner than a pencil are also removed at the root. On one bush we leave about 5 to 7 strong shoots. This is to ensure a good harvest. Large raspberries, shoots we like removed. We like them. They are removed. Their tops are at a height 1.5 meters. This is done so that it started to branch out to the side, thicken, and the roses will be larger. So I mulch the roots with rotted material, with cow manure, because it is a good fertilizer and an excellent mulch that provides essential micronutrients for the roots around the perimeter of the raspberries. The slate has been buried to a depth of 40 centimeters. This is done to make it convenient to water the raspberries. It didn't spread anywhere, neither to the neighbors nor into other areas. There are raspberry varieties that I planted them in regular car tires, which are trimmed on both sides, leaving a cord. The cord part is turned inside out and is buried in the ground. This is a very convenient way for planting raspberries, for its cultivation and for summer watering, because the water won't run off to the side, and it also prevents further spreading. To strengthen raspberries at a distance, I place pipes at a distance of 1 meter and I tension wire on them. The wire and the raspberries are tied to them. It will be sturdy and won't fall over. You watched the video on how I prune remontant and regular raspberries. This is my way. I emphasize that everyone does it the way they think is right. This is not a dogma.